Rio, Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation. For almost a century, Farm Bureau has been a friend of the farm for all Virginians. Visit our website at vafb.com.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Rio, Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce the wonderful local products we enjoy. Brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Here's what's coming up on this week's show. Farmers across Virginia are helping other farmers recover from Hurricane Helene. Thanksgiving is almost here. Chef Tammy has a pumpkin dessert recipe you'll want to try. And Pulaski County in the New River Valley is featured in our County Agricultural Close-Up segment.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia.
Welcome back to Rio, Virginia, everyone. We're coming to you this week from Engel Family Farms in Hanover County. This is one of several farms across Virginia that participated in a hay donation drive to help farmers in Southwest Virginia seriously affected by Hurricane Helene.
Farmer Jerry Dickinson worked by the lights of his tractor to secure a load of donated hay bales headed for a day-long trip to the other side of Virginia. At daybreak the next morning, he set off for the community of Max Meadows near Wytheville, some 300 miles away. But first it was time to fill up the gas tank.
This hay came from James Hunley that I worked for 20-some years. And he said that he was baling the hay to help all those people that lost them in the flood. And I told him if he could bale it, I'd get it out there for him.
The delivery took Dickinson out of Virginia's northern neck region, through the outskirts of Richmond, and on across the Piedmont to the mountains of southwest Virginia. 7 hours later, Dickinson's load of 32 bales of hay arrived at one of several drop-off locations set up by Virginia Cooperative Extension, where it was unloaded and stacked.
For right now, we're just storing today. It's more of a collection day. We have multiple sites. Here for Wythe County, we have a couple sites in Galax and Independence, and then Glade Springs. So we're going to be just kind of trying to get as much in today as possible. And then as we go along in the future, individual producers that want to donate, we're going to try and connect them with farmer to farmer or some of these other collection sites.
Hay donations have been happening since shortly after the remnants of Hurricane Helene tore through the southeast United States. Parts of western North Carolina, Tennessee, and southwest Virginia were flooded in areas not used to storm damage of that magnitude. Flooding from the storm killed more than 200 people, including 2 Virginians. Virginia Cooperative Extension has estimated more than $159.3 million in agricultural damages from the storm, with much of that happening in Grayson County, along the North Carolina border. So far, 1,200 round bales and 1,750 square bales of hay have been donated. Officials here say they hope to deliver 6,000 pounds of hay to help the recovery. A delivery site is also in place at an empty furniture warehouse in Galax, in Grayson County. Approximately $40,000 worth of supplies, including feed and fence, have been donated. Amy Byington with Cooperative Extension has helped lead the hay donation drive.
When you lost every bit of hay that you've got, and you've got stock you've got to feed, and this is your livelihood. So that's where we kind of came with the idea that we've got to get hay. We got to get hay in. And I know Virginia's had a drought, and some of the people that are donating this hay, like, it was a tough year for them, and we really appreciate that they're doing that. You know, I want to make sure they're taking care of them first before they send to us, but you know, our goal is we're doing it on needs. It's not focused on what people have lost necessarily as far as replacing what they've lost. We're trying to replace and get in what they need.
The empty warehouse is also being used to store other donations, such as food for animals or extra planting materials. Hay is the focus, but other donated items are also welcome.
And all of that's going towards hopefully helping either with transport, because Farm Bureau's are already helping with transport of this hay, getting it out here, but also as we move forward and we can see what the needs are and that sort of thing. But hay has been identified as a pretty strong critical need.
Further south of Galax and past Independence, Virginia, River Ridge Farm suffered some of the worst damage from Helene. This is what it looked like before the storm. This was the flood from Helene, which rose to 22 feet. Now, owner Brantley Ivy is still trying to clean out from what Helene left behind.
We've got to get back in operation just as quickly as we can. We have
for
no way to gather cattle, have no way to doctor anything if it's sick, no way to ship stuff out. So we are crippled as an operation. We have no operational ability. That's so we get it built back, and we can't build it back till we get it cleaned up.
Helene's damage was much worse in nearby North Carolina, but the New River runs north and some of the debris entered Virginia. Brantley's wife, Whitney, is still taking in the scope of the flood damage.
There's stuff scattered throughout the county. From the road, some of these trees look like limbs, but then you get down here and they're full-blown trees. Like, you can't, we've had people saying, can we come help? And until we got this equipment, there was just not a lot that you could do with your hands. And now there is. We've got a whole crew coming today at 1 o'clock.
The Ivy's business partner, Charlotte Haynes, had an organic berry patch wiped out by Helene. Since it takes 5 years to certify land for organic food production, she's probably going to make this a cattle pasture instead of replanting.
We were just lucky that we only lost 3 cows, a bull and 2 cows. I know people west of us that had 50 head and they lost 19.
This is where some of the long-distance hay donations have ended up. Farmers here appreciate not having to replace their lost hay with resources that could be spent on recovery equipment and personnel. Virginia Cooperative Extension, the Virginia Cattlemen's Association, and the Virginia Farm Bureau are working to get donations to those in agriculture who have been affected by Hurricane Helene.
A number of these items are immediate need, but we are looking at certainly between now and the end of the year to accept the donations. We're going to be evaluating where we are from that point forward. But disasters like Helene will take months, if not years, to completely recover from.
If you want to donate hay, Virginia Cooperative Extension has a website with all the information needed. Go to the web address on screen. Virginia Foundation for Agriculture, Innovation, and Rural Sustainability also has a web page for anyone interested in donating financial resources. In Grayson County, Virginia, I'm Burke Muller reporting.
Since cattle is the third most valuable farm commodity in Virginia, it stands to reason that hay is also a crucial farm crop. In 2022, hay was raised on 17,973 Virginia farms and had a cash equivalent value of almost $185 million. The National Agricultural Statistics Service estimates the cash value of the crop because most hay is consumed by livestock on the farm where it was raised, so few actual sales take place. But without their own feed, thousands of Virginia livestock producers would be out of business.
Hi, today we're going to be talking about gardening in dry weather, from the ground up. Please stay tuned.
Farming is a rewarding way of life, but it can also be full of challenges. If you or someone you know is struggling, call or text the AgriStress helpline at 833-897-2473. It offers 24/7 access to professionals who can support someone in need and help find mental health services in your community. Please make the call, because healthy farms depend on healthy farm families. That's 833-897-2474.
Like farmers, Virginia gardeners sometimes have to deal with drought. Chris Mullins with Virginia Cooperative Extension shares some ideas for watering your garden efficiently from the ground up. Well, hello and welcome. Today we're in Hanover County, Virginia, and we're talking about gardening through dry months, how to garden maybe with irrigation. We're at the Horticulture Learning Center here in Hanover County. I'm here with Holly Owens. Holly is a master gardener here in Hanover. Thanks for letting us come out today and talk about this.
It's a pleasure.
How are you all dealing with drought? I know you've got something behind us you want to talk about.
Okay, well, we have very limited water resources here on this property, and the well that's here doesn't cover all of the buildings and things it needs to here, so we're challenged. So we decided to put in this water tank. It collects rainwater off of the roof and then goes out to the garden. And our strategy for the garden is to choose plants that are drought resistant. Natives are amazing for that because they don't need as much water as, say, your vegetables. We try to plant like plants together that have the same water requirements. And we're really focused on trying to hone in on exactly how much water each bed uses so we can really tailor our watering to the specific beds.
But you know, I've heard of people collecting water in rain barrels and other plastic containers and then using it the same way you're using it. Does that make sense?
Yes, and you could use the same system, even though this is large for our needs, but you could pretty much use the same system on a small scale for your home garden.
Okay.
Because you could use the same type of piping, the same type of pumps and pressurized, system to get it to where you need it.
So you mentioned a pump. So you actually have a pump here that it will pump the water out of the tank and over there to your water hoses with your water breakers or your drip irrigation system, right?
Yes, there's a submersible pump in the tank, and then in the shed here we have a pressurized tank that gives us enough pressure to get it out to the garden.
Great tool here for irrigating. Now I do want to go and look at the garden and talk a little bit more about some selection and how to water. So Holly, you collect the water, like you said, off the roof. It's pumped over here, and how do you get to the plants after that?
Well, we have several methods we use. We have drip tape, drip pipe, drip tubing, and soaker hoses.
Okay.
And even though this is a big garden, all of those methods are adaptable for your use at home. And they have a lot of benefits. One of the biggest benefits is that it doesn't splash water up on your plants, so that helps prevent disease. And since we put the irrigation in, that's been cut way down out here, so it's been great.
That's really good. I think all those types, I know soaker hoses are easy to find and they work pretty well.
Yes.
And even some of the others are actually, you can Google them and find those and buy them these days.
Yes, and they stay moist instead of just wet spots here and there from hand watering.
We talked about maybe selection, plant selection. Some are better than others for drought. What are you all growing here that you think are better?
Well, any of the natives, like this garden here is all natives, and they don't need a lot of water, they're beneficial to the insects, they're really low maintenance, so that's our favorite.
Yeah.
Different types of mints. We have native trees in the area.
Okay.
So that's what we like to choose for our plants.
Sure, it makes sense. I know people that grow tomatoes and eggplants and cucumbers are always needing water, right?
Right, and the other thing we're trying to do is really add a lot of mulch. That's been really key, and in the beginning we had some beds that didn't have very much mulch and required a lot of water. And once we mulched them, the difference was day and night. So Chris, this is one of my favorite plants. It's the native honeysuckle as opposed to the white honeysuckle that you see growing everywhere. This is for our native pollinators. It takes minimal amount of care, not much water, and it's very adaptable to your backyard. So it's a very good plant.
If somebody wanted to visit the Hanover Horticulture Educational Center, could they come and visit?
Oh yes, we're open to the public. We love to have visitors. Sometimes we just sit out here and have lunch and look at the birds and the insects. So yes, anytime, everybody's welcome.
Well, for more information about growing a garden in drought conditions, contact your local county extension office and talk to a master gardener. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley. Coming up on Heart of the Home, pumpkin mousse cheesecake. We hope you'll stay with us.
Southwest Virginia farmers are cleaning up after high winds and flooding from Hurricane Helene caused more than $159 million in damage to fences, pastures, roads, timberland, and livestock. While donated hay is coming in from other parts of the state, cash assistance is needed as well. The Virginia Farm Relief Fund has been established to help direct aid to farm families in need. You can donate or request financial assistance at vafairs.com/Virginia Farm Relief Fund.
It's pumpkin season again, but instead of pies or cakes, Chef Tammy has a different pumpkin-themed dessert from the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from The Green Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you guys a delicious fall holiday dessert, pumpkin mousse cheesecakes. I've adapted this recipe over the years from a whole cheesecake to little minis. I think they serve much better. And this is what we're going to do is we have a small food processor here. We've got some ginger snap crumbs. We've got some pecans that are going to go in here, about 6 or so tablespoons. I have cut the recipe in half for filming purposes, but a few pecans in there. And a couple of tablespoons of brown sugar. All right, we're going to come back now and add the melted butter. When I adapted the recipe to minis, I actually use a muffin tin and cupcake liners. These are great little miniature servings. We put about a tablespoon of crust in each cup. Now this is called a tart stamper. I realize not everybody has one. You can certainly use the back of a spoon. No reason not to. But after you've gotten your cups completely filled, you want to come back and push your crust down on the bottom there. And then your cups need to go, this whole pan needs to go into the refrigerator for about a half an hour while you make your filling. I've got about 3/4 of a pound of cream cheese in my mixer here. I'm then going to come back and add the goat cheese. We're going to start the mixer, and while that is blending and getting nice and smooth, we're going to add our dry ingredients and our spices. And what I've got here is I've got some white sugar and some brown sugar. We've got spices of ginger and cornstarch and some cinnamon in there, I believe. I'm going to add that together. The great thing about this recipe is fresh nutmeg. I absolutely love using fresh nutmeg. You know, they're small bulbs. You can buy these in specialty spice stores, but I think they have them in the grocery stores as well. This is a nutmeg grater, but you can certainly use a regular microplane grater. And we're just going to hold it over top. And we're just going to grate quite a bit in there. I actually did leave the cream cheese and the goat cheese out at room temperature. It softens a little bit quicker, and then it also it makes it easier for blending purposes in your mixer. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to add those spices and sugars to the mixer. And then I'm going to add some pumpkin. Canned pumpkin is totally fine for this. If you want to take the time to cook a pumpkin down, that's totally fine as well. You just want to make sure you get out the seeds. All right, another nice ingredient here that we're going to add is a tablespoon of dark rum. You can also use bourbon if you choose, no reason not to. Whatever you have handy in your bar. And we want about a half a teaspoon or so of vanilla extract. And then we want to add eggs. Try to add them, I did crack 2 into a bowl, but try to add them to your mix one at a time. It helps blend better. We'll turn the speed up just a little. See that blended, add the second egg. All right, we're gonna take our beater blade off and our bowl out. Scrape your beater blade with anything left over on that. All right. Scrape down the sides, make sure you get it nice and combined. And then as soon as our crust for the cheesecakes are chilled, we're going to fill them and we're going to bake them. I've got the muffin tin actually sitting in a jelly roll pan, and you'll see why in a couple of moments. And we're going to take our filling basically at about a portion or so. This should have blended up a little bit more, but it's going to be just fine. It makes anywhere from 11 to 12 of a mini cup. As you can see, I've got 11 here. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to put it in a, I think it's a 325-degree oven if I'm not mistaken. And you're going to come and you're going to actually add hot water to your jelly roll pan. And we go mostly almost all the way to the top of that. And we go into the oven for 55 minutes where it bakes, of course, and then we take it out and we need to let it chill for about 3 hours at that point before you serve it. I love pulling these out. One of the main reasons I love doing them in this way is because of the fact I've got less of a mess and everything. So I've got my paper liner, I've got my plate here. I'm going to unmold the cheesecake. perfect little serving of proportion of ratio of crust to cheesecake there. Put it in the middle of a serving plate. And then I love to drizzle this with caramel sauce, either homemade or you can buy the grocery store, which is totally fine. And I love to just come back twice with this. Well, if it will cooperate. And then a nice little lattice pattern there. And there you have it. Pumpkin mousse cheesecake with a caramel drizzle. I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com/recipes, as well as on Chef Tammy Brawley's website at greenkitchenrichmond.com.
Pumpkins were raised on 390 Virginia farms in 2022, covering 4,028 acres. More than half of Virginia pumpkin patches are smaller than 1 acre, and a great many Virginia pumpkins are sold directly to the public at pick-your-own operations. Pumpkins are the 19th most valuable Virginia farm commodity. Growers sell about $11.6 million worth of the ornamental fruit each fall. Illinois is the top pumpkin-producing state in the nation. Growers there raised 630 million pounds of pumpkins in 2022. Virginia came in number 6 that year with 50 million pounds.
Few places can match the beauty of Southwest Virginia in the fall. In this month's County Agricultural Close-Up, Elijah Griles visits several Pulaski County farms.
Nestled in the New River Valley in southwestern Virginia, Pulaski County is brimming with Blue Ridge Mountain beauty and small-town charm. Cattle graze on hillsides throughout the county, with some farms providing beef to the local school system. Small vineyards and produce operations keep cellars stocked, while dairies ship milk across the region.
Although there are only 2 dairy farms in Pulaski County, milk claims the second highest value of all local agricultural products. Martin Kegley's family has been raising dairy and beef cattle since 1967, and he says some things have changed over the years.
The robot dairy, it's still a dairy farm. I mean, the robots milk the cows. You don't have someone coming in here at set times every day to milk. I mean, the robots are milking 24 hours a day.
This innovation increased efficiency and helped Kegley's daughter, Tori Alley, to get critical hands-on agricultural experience. She teaches agriculture at Pulaski County High School and serves as the co-advisor of the FFA chapter. She says that all her students must complete 50 hours of a supervised agricultural experience, or SAE, each semester, just like she did.
Growing up, we were always involved doing something, and then in high school, when I was in FFA, my SAE was coming up and working at the dairy. We had just started the robot dairy. So I came up and started working and fetching cows up here in the evenings and on the weekends.
Practical experience like this is preparing the next generation of Pulaski County farmers.
It just encourages the students to apply the knowledge that they're learning in the classroom outside in the real world. It gives them hands-on experience and maybe opens up some career opportunities that they didn't know they might be interested in.
Students are also getting hands-on experience with Pulaski County beef. Darren Cullip works with the Kegleys to ensure that local beef is served throughout the county's school system.
Everybody was pushing for the local produce and local products into the school, and myself and Lisa Kegley were at the meeting. There was only 2 of us that showed up. She went back and presented it to her husband, Martin. I come back and, presented it to my wife, Sue Ellen, and the kids. And we just kind of decided it was probably good for our community to get out there and our products here in Pulaski County actually going into our school system versus shipping our beef off somewhere else.
Darren Cullip and his family also raise and sell pork, lamb, and goat meat through their retail storefront and at local farmers markets. He says they are fortunate to have the Pulaski Livestock Market nearby, where they sell live cattle.
A lot of it is the price discovery, because we have buyers all over the East Coast and the Midwest that participate in our sales. As I said earlier, we sell a lot of them over the tele-auction system, which allows that buyer to call in and bid on load lots of cattle here in Virginia.
Load lots are tractor-trailer loads of cattle. Meek and his family also have a cow-calf operation. According to the latest Census of Agriculture, there are 390 farms in Pulaski County, covering 74,264 acres. The market value of all agricultural products is $30.6 million. Livestock and poultry earn the most, with $19.9 million. Of that, cattle deliver $13.6 million, and milk brings in $5.8 million. Crops account for $10.8 million.
Certainly beef cattle's #1 by far. We're in a part of the country that supports forage production really well. You know, most years we get enough rain to be able to grow our cool season forages to be the foundation feed source.
But grass isn't the only thing growing in Pulaski County. Dustin and April Cullop and their 2 children have started a wildly popular produce stand.
2 years ago, we decided that we would just sell some sweet corn just for a little cash money. And so my husband decided, well, if you're going to go ahead and plant sweet corn, you might as well plant a big garden. And so that's what we kind of did, and it just kind of fell in our lap. And we actually had really good outcome and support from our community, and really seen that they loved it, and we loved that they loved it.
Although they are closed for the 2024 season, Dustin Cullop says that summer business sizzled.
Some Saturdays it's really crazy. It's like a Walmart parking lot. It's unreal that many people are that crazy for farm fresh produce, but it does give you a little hope that people do realize what they are getting and they enjoy that.
Pulaski County residents and interstate travelers alike are also enjoying wine from Jennifer and Curtis Brown's Spinning Jenny vineyard.
After our children had left home, we decided that we would like to do something with our 37 acres beyond just watching the grass grow for hay. We enjoyed wine, but we decided to plant grapes. Then we kind of ended up with more than we could use just for our own consumption. We learned a lot and continued to learn more about grape growing and winemaking. And because of our proximity to Interstate 81, we decided to put up a tasting room. Then we opened Spinning Jenny.
A name that Curtis Brown says has humble origins.
Well, it's actually a tool, a simple machine that unspools this wire that we use in the trellising, and it allows that wire to come off without getting all tangled up. So that's where we came up with the name, because her name is Jennifer and the device is the Spinning Jenny. That's how the name came about.
Whether it's simple machines in vineyards or robots milking cows, Pulaski County farmers are focused on the future. Supplying local beef to the schools and fresh produce to passers-by is a testament of their commitment to this mountain community. Reporting from Pulaski County, Virginia, I'm Elijah Griles.
We're so glad you could join us to celebrate all the bounty Virginia has to offer. From the kitchen to your home and garden to our beautiful wide open spaces, we're proud to say that this is Real Virginia. For everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a great week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay.